Good morning, everyone. This is the Bundychick for another episode of Bundychick's Gameshow Palooza. This is on Twitch. It was originally on Twitch, but decided to bring it to YouTube. So, I thought since it's a week from Christmas, we'll do this now. You see I have my Christmas hat on. Yep, and let's see what we can speak about today in this episode. Well, we have in the world of Jeopardy, as you heard, there is, I believe it's next month on US television, that the ultimate matchup between the current Tournament of Champions, James Holzhauer, versus Ken Jennings versus Brad Rutner, whatever his name I can pronounce it. But both Brad and James have won a tournament of champions, and Ken hasn't. So, who do you think out of those three could win? We'll have to find out. And in other news, in the world of Wheel of Fortune in the US, while Pat Sage was having surgery, Vanna White took over Wheel. I have seen the first week of Vanna hosting, which wasn't too bad. She had a little help with Mickey and Minnie, so I don't know what's happened in the second week. I'll have to find out. I'll have to watch it on YouTube or something. Yeah, so, oh boy. Yeah, and then there's like other stuff that's interesting that's coming to Australia in the world of reality TV. Next year is Survivor All-Stars. I don't know exactly when it's coming back next year, and then starting January 5th, if you're like I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, it is coming back. So that'd be fun to watch. And Big Brother is too, but I don't know what exact day it's coming, but when it does, I reckon it's gonna be good. Hopefully. It hasn't been on for a while. And then we have Extreme Mini Golf? And I think it's basically as holy moly in the US. Yeah. I think that's what it is, so that'll be interesting. I'm not sure. Well, the only game-based shows we have here is the Chase Australia and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire Hot Seat. I'm not sure if Celebrity Name Game's coming back for a second season. I'm hoping it does, but we'll have to wait and see. But in the other returning reality type shows that are coming back next year, as I heard, we have Dance with the Stars, which was pretty good this season, so that's coming back, and I believe The Masked Singer is coming back for the second season. Oh, that'd be interesting. Yeah. Considering Lindsay Lohan was a judge on The Masked Singer, she didn't do a bad job. So, what else? Well, we know in the world of YouTube game show enthusiasts and stuff, we lost on the 9th of December David Down, a very beloved YouTuber who did the game show Temple. So to my condolences and prayers to his family and everyone in the game show community. We'll miss you. Yeah. Okay. Well, what else? If anyone in chat, if I get to read it, has any suggestions for future topics for my podcast, for this live stream, because it's that way, because I do it monthly and I'd like to know, but we can go like classic game shows, like we can go one clip in particular. This was from, I think, the 2000s, and Bob Barker was still hosting Price is Right, and there was this guy whose name was Jose, and he thought, for his showcase at first, he thought he bid $250,000. Really? $250,000 for a showcase? Well, then he went in the more realistic ballpark for $60,000, and he still lost. And I remember this other clip. They were bidding on a treadmill, and one guy bid $9.99, and the other guy bid and there was and it was like one was on the nose, and no, it was like he was surprised because he didn't think the one with $9.99 could win, because one bid him one. I don't know, was his name one or so? One of them, but surprisingly enough, $9.99 was the price, and boy, was that guy lucky. Yeah, there's like, I sometimes watch all these classic American shows because they're fun to watch, and I get a good laugh at them sometimes. What else? Jeez. Well, I like to say a nice Merry Christmas to Match Game Productions, because he's doing a wonderful job bringing us Match Game episodes. So I've been watching a fair few of them. It makes me laugh. Yeah, like this quirkiness, like say a question, Dumb Dora, so dumb. How dumb is she? Or Weird Willie is so weird. How weird is he? Yeah, but they had a cavalcade of as stars on that show. Well, originally it was Jack Klugman, but then he decided to hand the reins over to his wife, Brett. She was on there for a while with Charles Nelson Riley. I liked those two 'cause they were funny. And then we had like the three main regulars up until I think 78, I think, was Richard Dawson, Brett Summers, and Charles Nelson Riley. And you had mainly semi-regulars like Betty White, Patty Deutsch, Patty Duke Aston, Ann Elder. William Shatner was on a few times. He was funny. And even Leslie Nielsen actually appeared on an episode, like a week's worth of camp. But that was interesting to see. It's always interesting to see what they come up with, and that's what I like. Well, what else? Sometimes you may have the dumbest answers. Like, I think there was this one episode of, I think it was Miami is All New Pressure. They asked a question, and in the Tour de France, what do they use? I think one guy said SUVs. Well, obviously, everybody knows what type of vehicles you use in the Tour de France. Bicycles. Yeah. Oh well. Well, and then yes, it's like all funny clips and stuff. Yeah. What else? What else can I do? Oh, well, I do with my friends next year. We're doing some fun stuff on baseball for a compassed contender championship. Yeah, like Michael Till's doing wheel. No, he's not. He's doing trivial pursuit. Carl Will's doing super step. Myself is doing Family Feud, and Tony Gray, he's doing Price Right Beatdown. So we're starting around Mercedes. It's gonna be fun. If any of you that are on Facebook would like to join us. Yeah. Okay, what else? Oh boy. It's hard thinking of stuff. Well, it's the only one when it's you that's only doing this podcast, so well, there has been in the past in Australia, we've had game shows that have been short-lived that could have made it longer. I reckon they were good. That some of them might have lasted maybe a year and a half, depending on what it's worth. Like in I think the 2000s Birds Film, that lasted a year and a half. It wasn't bad. I watched it. Then we had Concentration. I believe that was just one season in 97 hosted by Mike Cam. I liked it. It was different to like the American one in the bonus room because you had to match prize instead. I don't know if there was a car, but if it was, I sometimes watched it on repeat. Then we had based on the based on the game Foresight did called Hot Streak, hosted by James O'Neill. I actually liked that, but unfortunately, to the dismay of people, that got 1 year. Okay. What else got like a year? I believe, All Star Squares got a year, hosted by Ian Rogers. I actually liked it. It's similar to, say, Hollywood Squares in America, or I think in the UK, celebrities. I think at one stage we had celebrity squares earlier in the maybe 70s or something. I'm not sure. What else? What else in the short-lived department? We had I'm not sure about Sexes. I might have made a couple of seasons, but it wasn't like very long. This was Ed O'Neill Phillips hosted it. This was way before he hosted Temptation. I know. It was a cheesy show, but it was fun. Oh yeah, and I forgot we got some others that were short-lived. There was Jeopardy here in Australia, hosted by Tony Bar, in 93, which lasted a year. Back in 1991, Let's Make a Deal with Ben Sorrenti, that lasted a year, which I like that one too. What else? I could tell you the shortest running game show was ever here in Australia. That was The Power of 10, hosted by Steve Jack. That lasted 2 episodes. And then, well, in the last, normal series of Wheel of Fortune Australia in 2006, it lasted 6 months. Yeah. This is when Larry Emder, after several years on Channel 9, kicked back Price is Right, did Wheel, which wasn't that bad. And he also, Laura, she was a good dude. They were both, but there was they did have a $5,000 wedge, but that was for the 5,000th episode of Wheel of Fortune. So that was awesome. What else? Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell you some. Was there any other short-lived? I think 1 vs. 100, when Annie McGuire was hosting it, I think that lasted a year. I like that too. And then The Ultimate in Game Shows. This show was back in 2008. I reckon it should have lasted more time, which one of my friends, David Hammond, will agree on, is $1 Million Wheel of Fortune. it had the great format. It had great presenters and Tim Campbell and Kelly Landry. That was great. Loved the wheel. And I love the pig. I actually like the pig puzzle board. I don't know where it went wrong. We had 4 weeks of normal contestants, and the last week was celebrities. Yep, sadly after 5 weeks, they decided to pull the plug. But in that time, we had a $200,000 winner and another one for Celebrity Week. But other than that, sadly in that time, we never had a $1 million winner. But if it wasn't for us, then in, I think it was July of 2008, Wheel of Fortune in the USA brought out the $1 million wedge, and they've been using it ever since, which I'm happy for. I believe in that time in the US, I believe they've had either 3 winners, maybe 4, I'm not sure. Someone told me in the bottom of how many winners of the $1 million wedge in the US. Well, is it 3 or 4? So we don't know. Okay. What else? Well, trust me. And then, I forgot to add another short-lived game show to that list. Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love this in general as a game show itself, but the way they did it, no. Was Price is Right. We were excited when it was gonna come back in 2012, but then, you know what happened? It pretty much ended up a big sort of infomercial for Big W. Yep, it's a big chain here in Australia, and there were no contestants, right? Which everyone didn't like. They just called it that. It was similar to the 1994 nighttime edition of Price is Right in the USA, hosted by Doug Day. But that was actually good, even though they didn't have no contestants, right? But there were no commercials. It was great. Yeah, they did a little bit in the session at the end, and then whoever won gets to press the rangefinder, and then they bid. If it was in that range, I believe they won. I liked it. I've seen it had potential until then. The reason why, I think it was basically about the O.J. Simpson trial that pretty much killed it, but it was enjoyable. Let's get back to the Price is Right in Australia 2012. Larry hosted it as usual, but I must admit, he was good. It's just wasn't the same as announcing because we had Brody Young, who hosted a little interactive game show back in 2007 called Quizmania with some girls. You got Amy, Nikki, and then Susie, and what was her other name? No, was it Claudia, Cassandra? Oh, whoever it was, I can't remember. But it was funny. It was a good show. But he had the perkness of an announcer. Just took a little too much at one stage. But he did like to interact. I must admit, the showcases weren't as big as like they were in the 2000s. And you had a time limit of 40 seconds to buy more from least to most expensive. So, there was like, I think a few did win, but other than that, I think they knew after a year it wasn't gonna work. But I'll go into like some game shows that lasted several years and they were very good. Yeah. Well, Price is Right from the 90s and 2000s were good. I think the one, like 90s, I think it ran from, like, was it 3 to 8? And then came on again from 3 to 5. They were good. Yeah. Paris is the 2012 version. What else? We had Deal or No Deal. That ran from 2003 to 2013, hosted by Andrew Key. I must admit, they started off with it used to be just a weekly Sunday night season. Used to be on once a week, Sunday nights, from 7:30 to 8:30, where they try to give away, I believe was it 2 million or 1 million? I know it was a big amount because...
Whose smokes are cheaper?
What?
Whose smokes are cheaper?
I don't know. Don't worry. Yeah, well, 1 million or 2 million. And then it was still the same, 26 cases. But I think they had a question round, I believe, and one was the most questions or something would be on stage, I believe. Yeah, I'm not sure if they had the mega mega guesses, but I think they did, but I think they were 1,000. Yeah, because I know that they in the weekday well, unfortunately the first they wanted to cancel together, but they decided to just do a weekday episode with 26 and knock down the prize money. But it's 200,000 was still good, and normal guess was about 5. I think mega guesses were anywhere between, I think it was 2,000 and 10,000, depending on how that day was and if they were nice. Well, we did managed in that time. I'm not sure, I know we had Doe for Celebrity Week, believe in all that time he had 200,000 for his charity. He was right. What was the... Oh, yeah. I think he picked case 23. He did, that's right. That had 20. And then there was another corner kick. I can't pronounce... Well, he actually... I think he was the first... Yeah, he was the first winner. He won 200,000. And I think there was another lady. I think her name was Leanne. I think she might have been the first... She was the first woman to win too. There might have been a fair few winners in that time too, but could be there were some like unfortunate ones that might have got 50 cents on it, but it was great. And then he said he had enough of the show. Well, after 10 years, it was like 2013 last season, and no more. And then I think started in September of 2013. We had this new show called $1 Million Minute, and it was a mixture. It was a mixture of, it was pretty much the elements of South Century in it, but it was good. Then, well, this was basically Brett Daniels' first hosting job. He did it for a little while until he needed a break for a little bit. Yeah, but we'll get back to another show he did soon. Well, it was great because they had questions. And basically, you get points taken off you if you got it wrong in points. I don't remember, was it 5 or 10 points you got for a right answer? Yeah, and then I think each time basically if you had a higher amount, then like they offer you some money, and if you wanted it, you just I guess you had to hurt your brother, and then you get the money, and then they duck point. But it was interesting. The board at the end was double barrels, just a screen, and you had the 5 questions, and then if there 5 ticks, you move to the next round and so forth. And then I think they made it a little better in the next year because they had a couple of safe levels, but there was only, in that time, I believe there was 2 that went for the million. One lady did, her name's like, she made a few, but unfortunately, she got beaten, but she got 75, and then we did have a guy, what is it, Andrew Scarber, I think that's what his name was, and I think he pretty much created Australian history by, I think he got over $1 million in money and won that. That was, what was that, 2014 or 15? I can't remember. Because Simon Reed took over the rest of the couple of seasons. It was great. Yeah. Oh, if I might have to go and watch that on YouTube one day. If you want to, if you're interested in looking up $1 Million Minute, it's really good. What else could I say? These shows that ran for many years and got cancelled. Like, another prime example is Temptation, the New South Century, hosted by Ed Phillips and co-host Lavinia Nixon. I mentioned this. I wanna try. I don't think we could compare this to the US. You want our opinion on the US version of Temptation? Oh, let me get to it. Um, it was basically, as people said, it was a big, like, infomercial. They had mini games that weren't necessary in this game. Rossi Moriarty, he know better. He's the host. He was the host of Temptation in America. I believe I believe they came down here to do a pilot episode the way it wanted to be, and then it pretty much stunk. So let's get back to ours, which, man, well, Convention New South, it ran for 5 years. It was really good. Well, we were sad because, like, we hadn't had Sailor Century on television for, like, I think it was I think it was 4 years, because the original Sailor Century ran from 80 to 2001, and it was good for us because we had to see again, and it was like, this version was wonderful because it was straight out questions, and you had your favorite name, and then I think they did like a question type round, and then I think they might have dropped it for how to pick the prize the more like they did on Sailor Century. I'm not sure, but I liked it. Yeah. Yep. So, if any of you guys one day had an opinion, which game show in Australia would you bring back? If it was possible to bring back. Yeah. Well, I probably would bring Wheel back because I liked it. Or Price is Right if we did it right. What else? Yeah. So we had a really good time doing it. What else? I know it's easier, but so I'll ask you that there, guys. If you ever considered if you wanted to be on a game show or host of the game show yourself, what game show would you have been on? Well, when I was like, I think when I was like maybe teenagers or younger, I think I kind of wanted to be on Price is Right. Because I kind of liked it when everyone got called on, come on down. I liked that because it's fun. I think I love to play it along at home. Back to the showcase. I don't think I got any of them right, but I loved it anyway. It's like, it was fun. I like watching Wheel of Fortune as well because I don't know if I wanted to be on it, but I loved it because I love to try to solve the puzzles at home. It was so fun. Yeah, well, this was basically because we're anywhere between like 5 and 6 o'clock was mainly a game show block. So this was basically an hour between 5 and 6. This is just before the news, so in that block sometimes we had Wheel, we had in that Deal or No Deal, we had Millionaire, that was on a different channel. We had, yeah, it was interesting. And so did $1 Million Minute, we had that on channel 7. They were all good ones. So And the Price is Right too. Yeah, no. That was weird because I had to swap and change because I liked watching Wheel, and then I liked watching Deal or No Deal, and I liked watching Price is Right too. No, they were all around the same 5 to 6 o'clock spot, and I had to watch them. Like, because I had to swap and change them. I know. I didn't have 2 TVs that I could watch, like, one Price is Right, and then I could watch the same, on the same channel. Deal or No Deal, and Wheel, or doing back in, late, or, like, in the 2010s, but, there were some other interesting shows. We did have Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? No, I'm not kidding you, we did have that. Rob Merce hosted it back in the 2000s. I think it lasted, about maybe a year or two, I'm not sure, but then we had I think an interesting one. I don't know if I ever saw it. It was called Contest. That was on. What was it? There was something Brainiest. I think that was hosted by Sanch. I seen that. That wasn't too bad. What else? Oh, we had, like, it's kind of classified as a game show, even though it was on SBS, Letters and Numbers. It's basically Countdown. That went for, how many years did that go for? About 2-3 years. Oh man, I loved that show. I used to turn on the telly every day about 6 o'clock on SBS and watch Letters and Numbers, hosted by Richard Moorcroft. You had Lily Cerner doing the numbers, David Astle doing the dictionary corner. He looked a bit like Andy Dick, you know, the guy from News Radio. But we didn't have any celebrities, we just did it straight out. Yeah, it's a very interesting show, which should have been still on, but instead, now these days, they put on Mastermind. I haven't seen it myself, but I heard that Jennifer Byrne took the reins of Mastermind, but I don't know how well it'll go, but interesting to see. Oh yeah, now speaking of Great Danger, because I forgot how he mentioned about how he hosted Billy Dolman. Then in 2014, he went to host Family Feud and stuff, which he did fabulous for 4 years between 2014 and 2018. Yep. Because then sadly in 2018, no, it had the ratings, it's just the channel itself decided they didn't want it on. So what did they do to replace it? But is they put in on a show called Pointless. Yes, Australia did have we did have a version of Pointless. It was okay. It wasn't anything really special, but I watched it because it was a show. It was hosted by Mark Humphreys, and Dr. Andrew Rochford was basically, you had to look up and see if these were in it's basically Pointless. It's like a reversal basically a reversal survey, like a family feud. Yeah, but if no one said the answer is pointless, and then basically $500 would get put into the pot, and yeah, it was interesting. So I think the highest might have been like 16 or 18,000. I could have had like, instead of like 2,000, maybe 5,000 a pot, but it lasted till was it? It was like, I think it was like June this year or something. Pointless got off. I can't remember. Well, it finished this year to bring another TV game show hosted by Great Daniel called Celebrity Name Game, which I actually like. Which I have the board game, so we've had some interesting stars on, including former SNL alumni Jay Farrow. He was on a few times. It was very funny. Yeah. I try and watch Celebrity Name Game when I can. I'm curious, are they gonna get another season? I'll have to check it, I'll have to find out. But if not, it's been good while it lasted. Yeah. So, like, it's, so, if you guys out there picked, like, if you wanted to be any game show now host in the world for a day, who would you be? I don't know. A lot of the game show hosts are males, so well, I could if I wanted to be like maybe Anne Robinson, or in Australian sense, Cornelia Francis from The Weakest Link. But that's another show that was short-lived. Oh yeah, The Weakest Link, hosted by Cornelia Francis. Oh my goodness, I love that show. I was actually sad when it got canned, but she had pretty much the quirkiness of Anne Robinson. Why not? Because they probably couldn't get Anne at the time, so they thought, get another red-headed English woman to host it, and bam, there she was. And she did a great job for the last few seasons. Oh, I forgot some other shows that I mentioned that that were there. Like, we had Burgess Catchphrase that lasted a few. That was John Burgess' show. Another John Burgess show that was great was Pass the Buck. And that was like, this was after these Wheel of Fortune days. Yeah. So we know one person that didn't feel right to do the Wheel of Fortune, even though he took the job, because basically I think the last game show hosted was like 3 years prior. 93, this is 96. We had Tony Barber hosting Aussie Wheel, which I was about 13, I think, at the time. I thought it's gonna be good, and I thought, I didn't watch it at all because I found it boring. Really, really boring. I mean, like, other game shows that he does well at. Jeopardy did, and even South Century. But Wheel, at the time when I was watching it, no. But I did, as when I was an older adult, seen them on YouTube, and I thought, it's not so bad. Not so bad when you're a adult. Well, he knew when his time was up. I think around November, December of 2096, he knew he wasn't up to snub and left the show. But he did come back in 1997 to and now to announce new host Rob Elliott, which he did the show till 2003, which he did a great job. Yeah, and then we had Steve Wemke, 2004 and 5. Yeah, he was there, but he kept making too many mistakes. They could have just got somebody who knew what he was doing by hosting Wheel, but I guess the management Chelsea needed somebody. So, well, and then last was Larry M did the takeover in 2006, and that was the original run of Wheel of Fortune after I think it was 26 years. Yeah, 26 years being on television. It finished. Yeah. But you always got like YouTube to watch, so that's good. Then you can watch all your favorites. What else? So yeah. Well, I could tell you some US game shows that were brought into our kids' game shows. Like Blockbusters, hosted by Michael Pope. That was for primary school kids, and it worked. Same board. I think they just sort of made it a little easier for kids. You had Wipeout, hosted by Tony Johnson. That was based on, I think, the US one that's done by Peter. Yep, that was, and then UK by Mark House and Paul Daniels. Yeah, same board with kids. And I do have one more kids show that was that was adapted to kids. That was Now You See It, and then there was like 2 different hosts, because I know that there was a guy, and they had this robot friend, I think Melvin or something, and then Sophie from Laika in I think the 90s, and that was both good. I think clips of the 80s one. I don't know if I actually saw it, but I know I watched the 90s one, so yeah. And I got about a few more minutes before I wrap this Palooza up today. So if any of you is watching and you had like a dream prize to win on any game show, like whether it be Press Your Luck, Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, or maybe not Jeopardy because they give cash, but Wheel of Fortune, this is right, Press Your Luck, and whatever other game shows that are still left in the US, and if you had an ultimate prize you would win, what would it be? I don't know. I know one of my friends, a friend of mine that I know of, she went on Millionaire Hot Seat like many years ago, and she won money for charity. It was really good. Yeah. So interesting to see what game shows she may pop up next. So we'll find out next time. But she does know her not general of knowledge, because she used to come to quiz trivia nights where I used to go to. She's moved, so she doesn't do that. But it was fun when she did. Yeah. So I think this feels much better doing it on YouTube than it is on Twitch. I'm just like, they're showing stuff like a very Betty White Christmas, which would, yeah, why not? Betty White's a legendary, like, she's in the late 90s, but oh boy, she's still, and she was, I believe, the oldest person to ever host Saturday Night Live. I think she had fun doing it. Yeah. Betty White was panelist on many TV shows, like she appeared on Password, she appeared in a match game, Super Password, but computer. What else did she appear on? Maybe You Watch My Life? I'm not sure. Leave below. What other panel game shows did Betty White appear in? Because I'd like to know that. Yeah. Because I guess it's appropriate, because if it's Betty White or Vanna White, then we'll be like, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Well, basically in the US it's winter time, so it will be a white Christmas for them. But here in Australia, it's summer, so our Christmas will be hot, but it's still be good Christmas and have fun too. Yeah, so yeah, I have board games, lots of them. Well, maybe on my next Twitch, my next game show Palooza, I might show you some of them and do a little review along the way too, because I reckon it'll be awesome. Yeah, because I'm gonna make my game show Palooza once a month, so it'll probably be around this time next month, or early, depending what I feel like. So for now, I'm going to say Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to 2020. And I will see you next year for Bundychick's Game Show Palooza. Bye.